D Rose, fellas, to me the X factor, the glue that really put this whole thing together in terms of this team getting that fourth seed and getting to the playoffs. I mean, he was nothing short of excellent when he got to this team. He was the point guard that we sorely needed. He was instrumental in that 9-game winning streak. I mean, so many games that, he really won for us. The game against the Pelicans at home where he took it into overtime with the pass to Bullock, the key block on Eric Bledsoe, the game in Memphis, even in the loss to the Laker game. I mean, so many games, D Rose was just great for us and just the spark plug that we needed to really get to the playoffs. And now he's back. 3-year deal. I believe it was close to $40 million, 2 of which was a full guarantee and a team option there. Al, I'll start with you, man. What are your expectations for Derrick Rose going into the next season?
Give us that 15 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds per game. Maybe the 3-point shooting, even though it's not high volume, it was 2.6 or 2.5 attempts. That he had on average, but shooting 41% from behind the arc. We need him to bring the lightning to the Thunder. That will be the offense. That's essentially what that second unit was. They were fast. They played with power. They were one of the top second units in the NBA. It was because of him, right? Yeah. Once he came to this team and we inserted him, we can talk about what he did for Obi Toppin, but what he did for Immanuel Quickley was just as beneficial. He allowed Immanuel Quickley to play off ball. He allowed Immanuel Quickley to be that shooter that he can be and to give us the points that we needed. So, and on top of that, he's also good at he's a way better facilitator now than he was when he was young D Rose and just being electric, being just aggressive, attacking the rim, just slamming it down all the time, looking like he was about to break a backboard. So I like what he brings now, and he still has that craftiness to his game. We don't need him to be the starter, to be the savior, but what we do need from him is to also be that role model as well that he was for Obi Toppin and Immanuel Quickley. And I hopefully can do that for Quentin Grimes and Deuce McBride as well. So Derrick Rose, there's not much I'm expecting out of him just to maintain the same number.
I was ecstatic that we re-signed him. When we had our free agency show, and we were talking about take him or dump him, what players we would re-sign, what players we would not. Rose was one of the guys that I was emphatic about re-signing, and one of the reasons was, in terms of sustaining. We're talking about building a culture, building a sustainable winner, and I know he's not maybe on the timeline of being with us for 5 to 10 years, but at least for the next few, he produced winning basketball. The Knicks were 17-20 without Rose. They were 24-11 with him. So when Derrick Rose played, the Knicks won games, and the Knicks averaged 110.5 points per game in games that he played. They shot 41% from 3 in games that he played. They shot more 3-point attempts when he played than when he didn't. And a lot of that was because his ability to get to the basket, get a hockey assist, move the ball around the court when he gets to the basket. And so I was, very excited about having him back with the team. In terms of potential concerns, he's played 12 seasons and only 4 seasons. He's played over 65 games per year. So out of 12 years, only 4 games, which tells me that someone else is going to get an opportunity. He's 32 years old now. I know that's not really old for a player, but he has a lot of miles
mileage.
He has a lot of mileage. So for him, he's not the same 32 as your, another 32-year-old player. Derrick Rose played great last year. His defense wasn't great. And as you get older, it doesn't mean that your defense is going to get better.
It's not going to get better.
Sometimes you lose a little bit of lateral quickness. So those are some things that are just concerns for me. But overall, when he came in, the bench took off.
Yeah, I'm happy he's back, obviously. And I agree with everything the guys just said. I just want to see more of the same from him. Just leading the bench, making the young guys better. And I want to see if he can help McBride come along, help Grimes come along. If those guys get minutes, I'm not sure if we'll see much of Jericho Sims, but if he comes along, what he can do for Jericho Sims. I just want to keep seeing this veteran leader, Derrick Rose, that we saw last year. That's the guy I want to see. I think that's what I want to see from Rose. Obviously, he's going to be Derrick Rose by himself. We don't need to say that even. He's going to have a game where he's going to go crazy. And I expect that from him, but I still think he can keep that 3-point percentage up. He's been shooting the ball from three a lot better recently. Yeah, I think he's been taking a lot smarter shots recently as he's gotten older. So I think it'll be interesting to see what Tibbs does with the lineups with him, like who he plays him with. Like, will he ever play him with Kemba? I don't know. Will he play like
is that the closing lineup?
Yeah,
Tibbs
yeah,
goes with
like
his point guard and
he,
his son in the backcourt.
I know, right? I'm really interested to see if he plays D Rose and Kemba.
Yeah, 100%, bro. I mean, Rose could easily start, and I still think Kemba will get the nod. I think Rose, as we talked about with that second unit, the chemistry was just so potent. I feel like you keep that, and then you try to manage his minutes and just get him to the finish line. It's not 72 games this year; it's 82. And as much as he gave us last year, again, Rose Hive might not agree, but just watching every game, the second night of the back-to-backs, he wasn't as impactful. After the Laker game, as I joked, they brought him back in a body bag. He didn't even make it to. I think he missed the first two of the last three home games at MSG. Right, I think he missed the Spurs game and the Hornets game, or one of the other. I think it was the Hornets game first, and then maybe he played in the Spurs game, and then he closed it out. I forgot, but you got to manage those minutes, and then Game 4 of the Hawks series, man. Just watching, I was at that game, and he had nothing left after that. He absolutely had nothing left. So, you're going to have to manage those minutes. Embrace the depth. Get McBride in there. Get quickly some more minutes. Get Burks in there for some more minutes. Obviously, you have Kemba, who you're going to have to watch his minutes as well. But there's no reason why, if Rose doesn't get, seriously injured, that he can't be fresh in time for a playoff run or so on and so forth after they get through the 82-game season. Even though, the three-point volume wasn't that high, 53% effective field goal percentage. This was the highest of his career. He was very, very efficient shooting the ball with the Knicks this year, man. 50% across the mid-range, 9% turnover percentage. So he took care of the ball very well. It was just very, very efficient in terms of his decision making. The impact on the bench was ridiculous. I think he'll maintain those numbers. I think he'll hover around those numbers this year. Maybe he takes a slight uptick depending on the overall improvements from Obi, Burks, IQ, and so on. But yeah, I think D Rose is going to be on track to compare to what he did last year for us.